Hello, this is the Lord's Legion and welcome to a brand new movie review, and as you can see, this is a part of the series known as the Path to Infinity War, where I'm going to be looking back on each and every film within the Marvel Cinematic Universe up until the release of Avengers Infinity War. And continuing on with Phase 2, we have Captain America the Winter Soldier, which many people deem this to be one of, if not the best film in the MCU. But the real question is Captain America the Winter Soldier as great as everyone else makes it out to be, and does it still even hold up to this very day? Well, let's find out. Now, the story for Captain America the Winter Soldier is very intriguing, as we do have Captain America himself still trying to come to terms with the modern world. But ever since he decided to work with S.H.I.E.L.D., he starts to question not only the organisation itself, but also his own morals. And so Captain America recruits several heroes such as Falcon and the Black Widow in order to figure out this conspiracy theory revolving around S.H.I.E.L.D. But at the same time, we have this mysterious assassin known as the Winter Soldier, in which does have some secret ties to Captain America himself. Now, what I really love about Captain America the Winter Soldier is that the story goes through many twists and turns. And when watching this movie for the first time, I had no idea on what's gonna happen next. And at this point, I may as well just jump to the chase and say that I absolutely love this movie. And even to this very day, I still think that Captain America the Winter Soldier is by far one of the MCU's finest movies. Now, when it comes down to performances, Chris Evans gives 110% as Captain America. And I would go as far as to say that he is at his absolute best in this movie. Because similarly to how Iron Man 3 took Tony Stark, Captain America the Winter Soldier actually humanizes Steve Rogers. And just as a side note, this is the first time ever we actually get to see Captain America done right in terms of action scenes. Scarlett Johansson also gives it a game as the Black Widow, and this time around she is a very interesting character, because in many ways she is the exact opposite of Captain America, but at the same time they make the perfect partnership. And unlike Iron Man 2, at the very least Black Widow does have a purpose in this movie. Anthony Mackie as the Falcon is a very welcomed addition, and although I do feel like that this character does feel a little shoehorned into the film, he more than makes up for it by just being an amazing character and the fact that he does have some kick-ass moments. And Falcon was so memorable in this film that I could easily let that nitpick slide. Sebastian Stan comes back as the Winter Soldier in this movie, and although he says next to nothing in the entire film, he is easily a major standout both in terms of action scenes as well as some emotional moments. And I've got to give it to the guy for actually expressing himself with only his eyes and facial expressions, because surprisingly that is very difficult to pull off. And similarly to Black Widow, Nick Fury was given a lot more to do in The Winter Soldier, and Samuel L. Jackson once again delivered a kick-ass performance. And again, similarly to Black Widow, at the very least Nick Fury does have a purpose in this movie as opposed to being shoehorned in, like how he was in Iron Man 2. Robert Redford as Alexander Pierce is a pretty interesting character, and he does a really good performance. And what I really enjoy out of this character is the fact that sometimes the best villains can be just ordinary people who would use their powerful positions to their advantage. And lastly, we have Frank Grillo as Brock Rumlow. And honestly, I thought that he was a pretty cool side villain, and although I do wish that we did get a bit more of him as the character, he was still pretty enjoyable from what we've got of him. Like I already mentioned earlier, the action scenes are very top notch, and what's very great about them are the fact that they feel so grounded. And each move anyone performs felt very organic to me. From the opening fight scene, to the fights with the Winter Soldier, and even the chase scene with Nick Fury. The special effects in this movie are really good, and they still really hold up to this day. And I especially love how we get to see the Falcon fly for the first time. But by far the best thing about Captain America the Winter Soldier is just the character development that each character goes through, as well as the many twists and turns throughout the narrative. Because to me the movie felt a lot more personal in comparison to most other films in the MCU thus far. And looking back on Captain America the Winter Soldier, there's really hardly any flaws to be seen, because it all felt so self-contained. And sure, you'd have to see both the first Avenger as well as the Avengers before even watching this movie, but to me the Winter Soldier has a complete narrative throughout the film with a clear beginning, middle and end for Steve Rogers. And there is a clear reason as to why many people deem this to be one of the best films in the MCU, and I still stand by that. Because of some strong character development as well as some really kick-ass action scenes and just even the suspense in the entire film, this film really does have it all for me. And so the final verdict for Captain America the Winter Soldier, I'm going to go ahead and give it a very solid 9 out of 10. And in my eyes, this is a complete step up from Captain America the First Avenger, as the more I watch The Winter Soldier, the more I actually love the film, and that is no easy feat to accomplish. So what do you think of Captain America the Winter Soldier? Do you think that's one of the best films in the MCU thus far, or do you believe that this film is a little bit overrated? Comment below and share some thoughts, and as always, thank you guys for watching this video, please like and subscribe, take care and have a good one.